Timothy Hill.
You could just talk normal.
Timothy Hill.
Spell it for me.
Timothy. Last name is Heai.
All right, tell me what's happening.
So what's happening right now is the city is here to help remove this community, to relocate them to nowhere.
And when did you guys get told that you guys need to go?
So I recently got voted onto the Continuum of Care Leadership Council, and they were told that they had to leave this property here. We were told, I'm a member of this community here as well, that we need to leave. They made a decision at the city council meeting, I believe it was on May, in the middle of May sometime. This decision was made for this date of the 15th for everyone to move out for future planned development of this campus town that they're building. And I spoke with the developer of the campus town, and they aren't planning on closing escrow till the end of September, and don't plan on really developing until about 6 months out from now. Talking to the city manager, Craig Malin, they're about 3 months or so away from actually demolishing the property in order to fulfill their agreement to the developer. And so I sent an email out to the city council members yesterday asking for an emergency meeting for the state to move to be extended, because there's no service, there's no solution for these people to go to right now. There's nowhere, like there's organizations that are diligently working towards finding solutions for these people to move to, but it's just, we need more time to do that. And so I tried to email and call for this emergency meeting to be held to extend the day, because what's going to happen is this lot's going to be vacant for the next 90 days. It's going to be empty. So I didn't understand the need to rapidly relocate these people with nowhere to go when this lot's just going to stay vacant for 90 days. They actually allowed us to store our belongings in the building up here.
We're going to scoot over. What is the main thing that you guys need right now?
Time. I mean, I think it's imperative that this community was established, right, during the corona pandemic, right, in order to help relocate us from the lake by Home Depot and Seaside. This spot up here was established. It's a self-sustained community. There's virtually no crime rate in the area. It's been an awesome example of how an encampment should look like, or any type of homeless or RV that's self-sustained by the people that live here. And the fact that the corona pandemic is ending, it should have been the pandemic should have been people should have seen how the government stepped in to help in the time of need, right? Well, the pandemic is still around. It's the homeless pandemic, right? It's still rampant, but there's no help. There's not any solution for where people are going to relocate to, and they're just being told today is the day that they have to leave. No one here knows where they're going to go. They're just loading stuff up, trying to get their cars working diligently to move out of here because they're trying to be towed. But we are allowed, they said, to keep our belongings in the building for 90 days. So we can keep our belongings in the building up here for the next 90 days, but we have to go.
What do you plan on doing?
I don't know.
And we have today to figure it out, right?
That's today to figure it out. And I personally, I've been trying to figure it out myself, but I've also been working to try to help everyone else out at the same time. And I was really hoping to get the extension. Honestly, I was figuring it makes sense that it allowed people to stay at a lot that's just going to be vacant anyway, when the funding for the porta potties, the trash can, and the water could easily be done. You know what I mean? It could easily be attained, for sure. I know that for a fact. It's going to cost much. $100 a porta potty per month. Right. Okay, I don't know how much this trash can really costs, but I mean, I try to break through these people and just see the humanity behind this. This is a community, it's like a thriving community, you know, and to just go and break apart this community and that the city helped develop, essentially, it just baffles me. I don't understand the reasoning behind it. These people are all out here with the city and they're just doing like the job that they're supposed to do, right? But it's up to the city council members and the decision makers. And that's why I tried to call on an emergency meeting for them yesterday, is so that they could decide to extend that date until the development's planned, or the demolition is planned to begin. I mean, I think that's unfair. There's got to be a win-win here. There's got to be a win-win scenario where the people's like the long-term well-being, the future well-being of almost 40 people is at stake here. It needs to be taken into consideration. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's really just I feel like the corona pandemic ended, and it's like we're done together. The city managers, they took away the ordinance during the corona pandemic where you couldn't sleep in your car in Seaside. Now the pandemic's over, they're reinstating that ordinance. So, and the city managers basically said, go anywhere with Seaside. We don't want to use Seaside. Because we've had other organizations step up to allow us to use a piece of land, and that's been the biggest issue is logistically. Like the funding has been out there and available, and but we haven't been able to find a piece of land to relocate to because we would try to keep this community together. It's a thriving community, and the crime rates were low. And it's self-governed. I mean, that's the best case scenario for everyone, really. And it's just sad, man. It's just sad. Everyone, you spend a year here with each other, over the last year, and most of us have spent longer than that. You know what I mean? But here is where they relocate us to. And originally they planned on relocating us somewhere else, but that just halted. That just stopped. And it's the communication with the city of Seaside and the official, the city council members has been real. I got no responses to any of my emails I sent out yesterday. So that just tells you, I wish they would care more, because this is people's lives we're talking about. But if you did this to not just a homeless family, but if you did this to any community, in my eyes would be like, come on, let's just put another solution for whoever is for relocating, forcing to relocate. Let's help them come up with a solution before we kick them out.
Right.
I think that's only fair. Yeah. I don't think it's too much to ask. And so I'll say it again today. Like I'm asking them to have an emergency meeting again today to extend it until there's a solution in place, or until these different organizations that are steadily working towards coming up with a solution. There's organizations that work here that are trying to come up with a solution for them and provide services, but just time is not on our side. We need time, and it doesn't make sense for that lot to just sit here vacant. We could store our property here, but we can't see it. What does that say? They moved everyone over here, though. The city did. The city moved everyone over here. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like these people didn't choose to come here. We didn't want to move from the lake. They were out the lake before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but they would have scattered you from there. They recognized they had a responsibility, and they took ownership of that. And then they're like, man, we can't wait to drop these fools. And that's what they did. They bided time, and then they were like, cool, COVID's over, get out.
Well, Craig Malin, the city manager, he's got his agenda, my belief, in getting rid of the homeless problem. It's just getting rid of them altogether and making another city's problem. Making the next city over's problem, you know what I mean?
Boom.
We'll just push them to Salinas or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Make it their
Right there. And other traders started coming, and, things happened, kept moving every night, and stuff. And all of a sudden the pandemic came, and we just stayed there. So from there, we stayed there another couple of months, and then we came here with the approval of Craig from the city of Seaside.
Right.
Oh, I tell you, it's a mess.
I
don't know where we're going to go yet or nothing.
Tell me a little bit about, I guess, your plan here today.
Well, our plan here today is to do what they want us to do, and that's to pack it up and move. Where?
Tell me how the situation here has been while you guys have been here.
Well, we've had our ups and downs here, but overall it's been pretty good. I mean, it's been hectic, but at least we weren't being bothered by the law every few seconds, Get out, move! You got five minutes to move.
So today really is kind of, it's crunch time for you guys, right?
God, it sure is. It is a crunch time.
What do you see really happening here?
Well, I don't know. I was told that the owner of this property and other properties here is fine with us staying here. However, the city of Seaside, Craig, he doesn't want us to stay here anymore. So, but he never said he would not find us another place to go to. Okay, which we asked him and asked him and asked him. He won't return our calls because he doesn't have any answers for us. So, therefore, I don't know what we're going to do as far as once we leave here and pack it up. We were hoping that, Craig would come to some kind of conclusion to help us people here go somewhere other than being a nuisance to the public, residents, the Seaside, or wherever we may go, and Craig to help us get situated somewhere so we can be out of the way. That he doesn't want to work with us.
Oh, Bellamatics, Belladdox.
And you tell me a little bit about what's going on here today.
Well, they brought us from Roberts Lake in Seaside about 6 months ago and put us here with the intent to relocate us as a promise from Craig, city manager. Well, they're not relocating us. They say they have nowhere to put us. And so now they're kicking us out to the street that they kicked us out of.
So when was it that they told you that you guys needed to go?
Thursday.
So it was Thursday, so you guys had about 3 days.
Yes.
And what was able to be accomplished in those 3 days?
Nothing. You see, we're still half these vehicles don't run. Half these vehicles they towed here from Roberts Lake.
And so, really, the option that they told you was what?
They don't care. Go anywhere but Seaside. And that's per this Craig, city manager.
And so, and you said that they're not offering to do anything this time.
They're willing to pay $425 for either a RV spot or a motel. But there's a catch in that. If you go to a motel, you can't leave nothing here to put in storage for 90 days for free of charge. If you go to an RV park, you can leave an RV spot, which is over $1,200 a month. You can leave your stuff here for 90 days in storage. So where do you go? You're stuck between a rock and a hard spot,
So where do you plan on going?
I'm gonna go to a motel and I'll be in there for 4 days. That's it.
And then after your
I don't know
So you have about 4 more days to figure out
what to do. And not everybody here has income, so a lot of them don't have no money whatsoever coming in. So, and you can't go to an RV park if your RV is more than 10 years old. They have that clause where they won't allow you in there. And then if you don't make 3 times, it's just like renting a house. If you don't make 3 times the amount of the rent, you can't get in there. They have no full-time spots. The temporary spots are anywhere from $75 to $130 a night at an RV park.
What is it that you guys would like? What do you guys need in order
we would like for Craig, the city manager, to keep his promise to relocate us. He said there's nowhere, all this land on Fort Ord, there's nowhere to put us. It's all sold. I find that kind of different. Finney, something strange going on. There's so much land. I know there's somewhere they could put us. They don't want us. They don't want the people in the cities to see us. So they put us here, so we're out of the way from everybody. So the only people that see us are the people that come down this road. Other than that, nobody knows we're here, unless they get it by word of mouth that we're here.
And why is it now that they want you to go? What is the
Because
reason?
the property has been sold. But that's another thing. We talked to the owner that bought this property. He has no problem with us being here because they're not going to be able to work on this place till this January. He said he has no problem with us staying here. City of Seaside, again, Craig said, no.
So have you guys asked the property owner if he has talked to police or the city of Seaside?
He has talked to Craig, and Craig told him no. They want us gone. They don't want us here.
I'm so sorry to hear.
I know it's
going
sad.
through this.
I mean, but what it is and what's more important are the people ourselves or our property. They're willing to store our property for 90 days. Why can't they put us somewhere again for 90 days?
Or longer.
Or longer, yes. Something permanent. They have so much land here, and we're all willing. The people that have money, income that have here, are all willing to pay anywhere from $150 to $200 a month to pay for the electricity, the water, and the septic. Just get us a spot where we can do that at. Well, here at the end, we were paying $85 for them to come do our septic because they stopped the homeless. The coalition ran out of money because they were paying for the septic people to come do our septic, and they ran out of money, so we had to pay our own for them to come do it, and that was $85. Not everybody has $85 to just throw away. We didn't choose to be homeless. It happened. I became homeless because my mother passed away and we had to sell our house. That's how I became homeless.
So, really, more time.
More time, yes. We're just now trying to get our feet in the door of the proper channels to go to shelters and get in, but there's waiting lists for everything. With the COVID screwed it all up where, so many people at what's that place in Salinas? The motel that they put them in?
The Good Night Inn?
The Good Night Inn. That a lot of people got put in there went from the COVID, and the seniors, disabled seniors, are still, here we are, still out in the air, you know. Can't even get our foot in the door nowhere. I'm on every waiting list there is, you can imagine, to get into a place. And it could be anywhere from 4 to 5 years or even longer. And now that the project room key stopped, they're no longer doing that no more. So they just started to get us in there, did the paperwork, and then they stopped it. So here we go again. Where do we go?
Seems like a cycle, right?
It's a never-ending cycle.
So this would be designated more like storage rather than just.
They're gonna put it in there.
Well, so we have a procedure that we follow, and there's only so many items that we do, like complete bicycles. We'll save complete bicycles. Camping items.
Jewelry, books, pictures.
We'll save camping items.
Very cool.
If they have their clothes in a box,
And they're
packed
clean.
up, clean, not soiled, stained, whatever, we'll save it. Other than that, I mean, just miscellaneous garbage gets thrown away. Yeah, I feel sorry for the people out here because they're trying to survive too, just like me.
Right.
And unfortunately, the city has to move forward with their projects that they had going on. This was just a temporary solution.
Fact.
Everybody that moved in knew it was a temporary solution. We can't make them change. We can't make them go out and try to find something better. But that was the idea, is to try to get them to step out of their comfort zone and move forward.
Right, and the pandemic certainly didn't help any kind of step out of anything.
Nope.
I mean, it made it harder to even get a job.
Yes, it did.
So be like, well, hey, this last year you should have figured something out. It's like pretty much a slap in the face.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't get in the middle of it.
Right.
I'm just here to service the stuff.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I'm not, I'm just trying to further the conversation, I guess, and the issues, because seriously, this isn't mindless or mind-numbing, and it's not like, you're not just here to follow orders, and I can tell you care.
I care about the people, I mean, I got to know a lot of them, like, Bella, I mean, I know her pretty good. Yes. Yeah. And I got to know them pretty good, I mean,
They're just
good
people. Yeah.
They're good people, and they've just been down on their luck. And
Right. Well, and they're below a threshold. There's no way, dude. A lot of them got pets. A lot of them got family dynamics. A lot of them got record. There's no way on paper they're dead. For being a viable client. So this is the remainder, the leftover. They're still good people. They just can't afford it. And what are we doing? Well, we're going to make it harder on you. And if we tow their homes, now they're really going to be homeless. Like she said, they came off of Lapis Road, so that's like 2017. This is just a set of people that aren't going to fit. They're bigger than the pegs, or I don't know. Round. They're round holes in square pegs or whatever, right? And they're just not going to fit. So it's like, well, what do we do with these folks? Because this is definitely much better affordable housing. I didn't pay for it. The city didn't pay for it. They bought their own rig and it's theirs. They just need an address more than anything else. And that's actually the whole thing around the whole county, the whole nation, right? I mean, we'll give away our clothes, we'll give away food, but for a place to stay, you got to pay through the nose. And that's the hardship, I think.
Yeah.
So do we really care?
I mean, there's other places than here. I mean.
Yeah.
And of course, the more you go to the Central Valley, the cheaper it is.
Well.
I mean, if you'd have to relocate to get something more affordable.
Well, but being a stranger somewhere else is actually worse off, because now you're unfamiliar and you're a stranger. It's not even your town. Why don't you go to your back home?
Yeah, I honestly, I don't know what would solve this. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, every county does this. I mean, it's backhanded, and if we weren't if we were more service oriented than business oriented, then I think we'd have a lot better situation on this aspect anyway.
Sure. So how do you think this grew into what it is?
It's wealth inequality more than anything. I mean, a little bit of drug use, a little bit of personal, but choices. But in a larger sense, people are meant to lose. There have to be a lot of losers for there to be a few winners.
That's correct. There has to be somebody to move in to move out. Or move out to move in. Yeah.
Right. Well, and I mean, we got the space. There's plenty of vacant buildings everywhere, but it's about permission, cost, and charge. What are you going to do for me? And tax revenue ends up being the biggest incentive for city and, you know, jurisdictions, because that's their income. You know, you're messing with my money. Sharing, one of these days.
Yeah.
You know, and what is the point of society? Is it to scaffold each other, or is it to take advantage of each other?
No, you're supposed to help one another. You're supposed to, when someone's down on their luck, you're supposed to help them. But where do you draw the line when you help them and they don't help themselves?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Does that make
Well,
sense?
well, now, are we being sure that we're not stopping short on purpose? I'll tell you right now, dude. Seaside ain't got no problem towing you away today, dude. You know, anywhere in Seaside, I talked to Pridgeon a couple days ago about it, and they're like, hey, we gave them plenty of time.
They made me move my tow truck and my Camaro 5 days ago. Why did they come 3 days, like 4 days early, and say I had to move? Why couldn't they wait until today for that? So I had to deal with that all week, like trying to figure out where to put that at. I finally found a place for that last night.
But
anyway, Max is coming down with the KIN. He'll be here in a minute.
oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll try to hang out with them.
Yeah.
They're
They're going to allow us to store our belongings
for up
in
to
the
90
building
days.
for up to 90 days. So essentially what they're saying
Right.
is that our belongings
Are more important than you are. Well,
is that what
you
they're
know,
saying?
your belongings are important for 90 days. No. They go to basically you know, property jail. You know, because
So
now how are you going to retrieve
They're
it?
going to storm right there in this church.
Huh?
They're going to storm right here in this church.
Oh, is that what they said?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well,
So our items can stay, whatever
Right.
item
Well,
they deem are of value, they'll store in this church because they're not going to begin demolition for another 90 days. Right? I talked to the developer; he's not planning on development for another 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean, they're not close escrow till the end of September.
Right. Well,
So why?
you said
So
tow
I tried
truck?
to.
That was like a tow truck.
Yeah, it is. I tried to bring it to the attention of the city council that there should be an emergency city council meeting because according to Craig, that's who decided and that's what needs to happen in order for the date to change, right? I said it is imperative and it's extenuating circumstances involved here. We're going to displace this community there needs to be more time. You know what I mean? To allow for these services that are trying to be, you know what I'm saying, afforded, you know what I'm saying, there's organizations diligently working to look for services and solutions to effectively relocate this community.
And they need to be
You know what I'm
patient and
saying?
wait for that.
And they need to, the urgency to move on this day needs to be extended.
I know.
I emailed them all and tried to ask for an emergency city council meeting to be held, and not one person emailed me back. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, it's a done deal, you know. Campbell couldn't get a second.
Craig Maynard's down here, and he's like, "I'm going on vacation tomorrow." Not my problem.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and Campbell is the only one. You got one council member that cared, man, and tried. They also said you're not allowed to take a shower either. Pretty cool setup, you know. Shower head, bathroom. Pretty cool. They had a hot water heater connected to it. He said he took it out. Said no. When did the city start coming out? And what have you done? I mean, like
I think it's about 2-3 weeks.
Okay.
And we're pretty much going off what the city manager is instructing us. So first it was offering, you know, like storage and a reimbursement for RV parking locations.
Fantastic.
But the storage changed to this for 90 days. And then, so we're offering, what is it, $425 reimbursement for RV locations, parking.
Have
then
we-
also hotel, a 425 week worth of a hotel stay.
Oh gosh, that's 3
but they
days maybe?
That's what I was thinking as well. But I guess the deal is they can't really leave their stuff here.
Right, I see. Well, and you know, I mean, their vehicles and everything they own, even pets or whatever. It's kind of hard to let go of everything just for, you know, a 3-day stay.
I know, yeah.
You know.
We're here to provide as much support as we can.
Have you checked out the locations to see how many vacancies there might be for, you know, an idea
we've
of-
been looking for a bunch of resources. A lot of them are basically full, and so it's like.
Right. So the money
you know,
doesn't really help.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
But it's a nice gesture.
Exactly. Yeah. It's so we're pretty much doing what
Do you feel like you fulfilled your role as far as helping these folks?
I feel like I've been doing the best I can for my role and the resources that are available. But yeah, it's little slim to none. So yeah, we're here trying to support the best we can, but it does suck that we have really limited help and such a short time span.
Maybe started worrying about it too late. Maybe the city might have done that on purpose.
I have no idea. We were.
There's certainly a little bit more time, you know. I hear there's no development for at least 3-6 months.
I think he's in place of Chief DC Gordon, so I'm gonna connect with him. How they get their stuff, Monty is, well, they'll have to contact him and then set up a time where he will come and let them in to get their stuff. So that's how they get their stuff that's stored in here.
For storage?
Now, yes. So now we have clarification. So I'll make sure you get this contact information saved in your phone and vice versa, so that as people are ready to come and get their stuff, we can tell them today, like, hey, this will be the number you contact this person. So in a moment, I'll give it to you. I just want to give you my card as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's certainly a few people that are going to take up the storage thing. So, and hopefully there's someone, you know, a neighbor that can be like, oh, that's their stuff here, you know, and write it in for them or something.
Well, that's what we're trying to do too. We're trying to log in everyone that's storing stuff, so at least we can try and help out in regard to what is labeled and what belongs to each person.
Yeah.
So that it could be as organized as possible.
Yeah, for identification is going to be huge. I just wish, you know, they would have been a little bit more proactive, but I think the attitude is pervasive from the very beginning. I don't know if you know, a lot of these folks came off of Roberts Lake, and so last year, the beginning of the pandemic, the attitude has not changed since then.
Yeah, Bella was telling me about it.
That's all. I wish we'd just be more proactive. You know, I work in Salinas a lot, and I ran a campaign on stopping the sweeps, and it kind of caught on pretty good. So now like sanctioning encampments and RV parks is becoming a priority for our county seat, which is like pretty awesome. You know, it's the most populous and got the most people, so you know, it just seems reasonable. You know, we're supposed to be a public service oriented entity, you know, for every jurisdiction. But yet, you know, you worry about the separation of church and state, you need to worry about the separation of business and state, because the people are in the middle, and all this economy of tax revenue, you know, it's predatory. That's the way I feel about it, you know.
Yeah, I'm fairly new to Seaside, because I am from Salinas, but this is brand new to me, and it's really unfortunate. It's just, especially with such little time span that we had to even help out, and so we have resources, but then do we really have, you know, space for everyone to go somewhere? So yeah, like you said, the money being thrown out there, yeah, it's nice, but it's like, well, can they actually find a permanent location to stay?
Right, where's the impact?
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's where I always get worried. You know, I mean, there's going to be a remainder, no matter what. Not everyone's going to qualify for every program, and the programs are very picky and selective as it is. So that's already a micromanagement scheme in itself. Because now it goes back to the money. We just need clients. We don't care who you are, just as long as you don't ask me a question. You ask me a question, I think you're questioning my authority, not just trying to find out where the bathroom is.
Yeah.
You know, so now you're not a docile, submissive creature, and you need to go.
Yeah, the good thing with our program, since it's brand spanking new, is that I have like the time and availability to actually narrow down like what programs they could potentially get into. But then it's still a wait list, you know. It's a waiting game. So
right.
yeah,
Well, there's limited capacity.
Yeah.
You know, and think about the eviction moratorium and the slew of court cases that are going to end up. You know, one industry is going to profit off of this, and it feeds off of human suffering. And, you know, invariably, this is the way our economy works. You know, we're predatory. Have to be a lot of losers for there to be a few winners. So I get worried about that, and certainly it's too late right now. I mean, even that 3 weeks was already too late. and everybody knew that to start with. But it's a penance, it's a gesture.
I think we received the, or we got the instruction to come out like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So we had 2 weeks to work with.
Right. Well, and you're coming in cold, so it's like, how are you gonna, that's overwhelming.
So his schedule is Tuesday through Friday, 7 to 5. So that we can pass on information on when it's appropriate to contact him. And then, also reinforce, you can't just contact him literally the moment before you get your stuff. We typically need a couple days to schedule out when he can, meet with you to come and get your stuff, just so we make that clear for them as well.
I don't know. Well, I appreciate folks trying to cooperate and everything, and helping people out.
Can I ask, is that
He's down there.
So I do a YouTube channel. Anything affluent, positive, civic, social, environmental justice oriented, and a lot of homeless issue, I guess, is included in that. And a lot of people are very unaware of anything about this process. From start to finish. I get a lot of people like today. There could have been a lot more, but since the pandemic's over and everybody's got a job again, alive, I couldn't get that much support of let's block them, let's do a direct action.
Oh, okay.
But.
So you're kind of filming the process? Is that what it is? Oh.
Yeah, the impending carnage, I suppose. Because this is going to be a loss of quality of life and property. Because really, we're going to degenerate how their living situation. And that's going to cause mental issue as well. A lot more post-traumatic stress will occur from this day.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like you shouldn't be an entity. A public service entity should not be trying to injure people and make a situation worse. You should try to make it even kill or better, rather than worse. Shouldn't be actively trying to make a worse situation. But then money comes back into play. And the easiest solution, there's a league of cities and association of counties throughout this whole state. And the lasciviousness of our business top-heavy nature, lie to everybody because we'll make the money. Don't worry about it. It happens a lot. Embassy Suites is a prime example for Roberts Lake, because they said all this other stuff, but when it really came down to it, the chief primary complaint was from Embassy Suites. And I just don't want to see those people. People are paying $400 a night. They shouldn't be able to have to see that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I see. Okay, cool. It's worrying about image.
Right. Well, and that image also creates a selling aspect. So if people complain about it, then future customers won't come. And, oh no, my profit. And of course, city's like, oh no, my tax revenue.
Yeah, I am hoping with, this reimbursement that the city's doing, which it's maybe a week's worth, at least by my program sometime to try and get them somewhere more permanent. That's my hope, but I know it's wishful thinking.
Well, there's, we pride ourselves on an independent government, right? Or an independent personage. We've got liberty and everything. Trying to put everybody in a shelter, you got no privacy. That's going to be a mental illness. That's why I can't do it. They just need space. More than anything else, you need personal space. And that's why a lot of people will just be like, I'll just live in my car. Because then I don't have to deal with, the headache. It's an address. We'll give away clothes, we'll give away food, no problem. But it's an address, a place to be. And especially, these are residents, man. They've been up and down the peninsula because, where are you going to be? But
and I understand, they have their form of housing. And so it's just a matter of, finding a location to be at permanently. Yeah, I know. It sucks. But the way I see it is I can do my part and try and help as much as I can, or walk away, and I choose to try and help as much as I could.
Yeah, and it's appreciated. I'm surprised. I'm glad the city is giving you as much direction as they are, because they could have just done nothing and just been, oh, no, we're just tell everything.
Yeah, a little bit more time would have been nice, but
a lot more time. as soon as you folks, everybody got placed over here. And I've always been driving that, sign up for services, sign up, at least get in line, at least they'll recognize you, and they can't say that you didn't want help.
Yeah.
You know, because that's really the ultimate. That's almost the start of the conversation was, well, they don't care, they don't want our services, so we got to get rid of them. And it's like, oh my God,
Because if you carry that mindset, it's like that's how the problem gets worse. So, you know, either you work from within and try and make it better, or you leave. You know, yeah, that's what it's about. You have to want to help, or not. You know?
Right on. Well, it's appreciated, and you know, like that's we could have been more proactive, you know, and
Oh, I agree. I 100% agree.
It really hurts, you know, that some people are going to lose their home and end up in a lower situation.